describes the nafs, or the self, as operating out of one of three states. It explains how these states command our psyche and tell us what to do, how they control us and dominate us. The first state is the nafsul ammara, or the commanding self. In this state, we are subjugated by the self. We listen to and follow its commands. It describes the part of us that desires material possessions and sensual pleasures. The second state is the nafsul lawwama, or the accusatory state. Within this state, we are conscious of our own imperfections and inspired by our hearts. We see the results of our actions and our weaknesses and aspire for perfection. The third and final state is the nafsul mutma'inna, or the peaceful self. This state implies contentment and peace, where there are no immoral desires. This is the ideal state of ego, where the soul reaches a point of tranquility. The psychological language of the Quran describes destructive emotions and harmful conditioning as nafsul ammara, or the commanding self. Guidance is given in Islam to help overcome the inner turmoil that we can experience, caused by the nafsul ammara, and bring the peaceful self, or nafsul mutma'inna, into being. When our emotional needs are being poorly met, the nafsul ammara begins to control our feelings, thoughts and behaviors. Islamic psychology and religious scholars provide guidance to learn techniques and adhkar to weaken the influence of the nafsul ammara. When the nafsul ammara is in control, our thoughts are distorted, leading us to take things personally, to see everything in a negative light, and ultimately to believe that things cannot be changed for the better. Early the next morning, Aneesa comes to fetch Tasneem for the women's pilates class. It's run by the instructor, Risky Reza. They enter the mirrored studio and Tasneem is in awe of how stylish the place is.
Wow, Aneesa, this place looks amazing, like a ballet studio or something.
Actually, that's exactly what it is. Risky felt that a gym is too open a space and there's too much intermingling that goes on with the men and the women.
So where is this guy?
Oh, there he is at the other end. Come, let me introduce you to him. Salams, Risky.
Salams, Aneesa. I see you brought a friend.
Gee, this is Tasneem. Remember, I told you I'd be bringing her along.
Ahlan, Tasneem. Welcome to our class. I'm Reza, but everyone calls me Risky. Let's not go into the reasons for that. I can see you looking a bit unsure of joining the class. Don't worry. We focus only on high level of fitness here.
I don't think this class is for me.
For the first time since Aneesa can recall, Tasneem is unsure of herself and wrong-footed by the fitness Fundi standing before them. With his huge muscles bulging under his sleeveless vest and his perfect face covered by a small beard, Tasneem feels out of her depth and at a loss for words. She takes a step back as if to leave, but Aneesa realizes that Tasneem is about to bolt from the studio. Not wanting to be embarrassed in front of the instructor, Aneesa grabs her arm and pulls her back to stand alongside her.
Tess, come on. Give Risky a chance to explain how it works. Try out the first class and then you can decide if you want to sign up for it or not.
Relax, Tasneem. I don't bite. Aneesa told me that you've been attending aqua aerobics lessons for years. So Pilates should be a walk in the park for you.
Yes, I have, but...
No buts here. No, seriously. The class is very spiritual. We start every lesson with a short study of an Islamic teaching.
Oh, Aneesa did mention something. But I mean, are you an alim?
An alim? Do I look like one? Of course not. Although, I do have a lot of knowledge on the Quran through self-study. Which is why I find it necessary to start off the lesson with a bit of spiritual insight. After which, we commence with the Pilates class.
And where do you teach from? I mean, is there a screen or something for parda?
Yes, of course. See that screen at the front? I stand behind it. The class follows my movements from the TV screen over there at the other end of the studio. That's how they follow the lesson. So, in that way, I keep myself completely separate and I can't see any of you ladies.
Oh, I thought I would have to do a workout in my abaya.
That would be almost impossible, given that the moves we do involve a lot of stretching.
And how do you correct us if we're doing something wrong? I mean, if you're behind the screen, how will you be able to see if we're carrying out the exercises correctly?
Well, at the end of every month, I have one short recap lesson where I teach the ladies face to face. So for this lesson, you all keep your abayas on. And I correct your postures if I find you aren't doing them correctly. So whilst I don't touch you physically, I point out your mistakes and demonstrate the correct posture standing at some distance so that you can get the hang of it.
Doesn't it put your mind at rest, Tess?
I suppose so.
Excellent. I see the other ladies have arrived. Let's get started.
Back in Southville, Auntie Gori, the matchmaker, is at Dada Rashid's house. Aziza sits in on the meeting so that they are not alone. Gori has brought a file containing the profiles of some women she thinks may be suitable for the widower.
Auntie Gori, let's go and sit outside in the garden. I've made some tea. We can have it on the patio.
Mashallah, you have a beautiful house and garden. So it's just the two of you here now?
Gee, since my brother and his wife moved away, it's just us and the tenants in the big house. But we hardly see them because both the husband and wife work and their kids are studying in Durban. Zaid rented out the big house until Abba and I decide what we're doing.
I wasn't ready to move out of this house. I've been living here since Aisha and I got married all those years ago. We lived in this cottage initially, but as the years pass, I managed to save enough to build the big house. Zaid and Aziza were brought up here, and so were Zaid's children.
Abba, don't get all sentimental now. Did I tell you that I mentioned to Zaid that you're ready to get married again?
Oh, no. What did he say?
Well, he didn't seem too excited about it.
I suppose I was expecting that. Zaid and your Ummi were very close. He was her only child until you came along over 20 years later.
Yes, I know. Umi always had a special fondness for him. But give him some time to get used to the idea of you getting married again. Abba, eventually he'll understand that you can't be alone for the rest of your life. Don't worry. The idea will grow on him. Auntie Gori, Abba's been looking forward to this meeting with you the entire week.
I certainly have. Now that I have decided to marry again, I am curious to see who you have found for me.
Actually, Rashid Bhai, I found you 4 possible matches already.
Subhanallah! Do you mean to say that there are so many elderly women out there looking to get married?
Well, since COVID, there are many people who have lost their husbands, wives too, but not so many. And let me tell you, the amount of divorces we've been seeing, too shocking.
Too true. It's a difficult time we are living in. This virus really has turned all our lives upside down.
And this age of technology is so stressful for the older people especially. You know, Auntie Gori, my nephew suggested that Abba download Mazmatch to find a wife.
Really? Actually, you know, lots of the younger people are on Mazmatch. But I've noticed that the older people prefer to do things the old-fashioned way. So, Rashid Bhai, let me show you what I have.
What if Abba likes the first one? Should he just propose to her and not bother looking at the others?
Actually, my dear, that's very rare. I know very few people who choose the first person they meet. Although lots of them, after having seen a few other prospects, tend to go back to the first one. So it's entirely up to you, Rashid Bhai.
Maybe I will choose all of them. A man can have 4 wives, you know.
Abba! You didn't even want to get married, and now look at you. wanting to take on 4 wives without even having seen one.
I'm only teasing, Azzy. Okay, Gauri, let's see what you have for me.
Dada Rashid pages through the profiles of the women, Zora, Hajra, Firoza and Maryam, that gives some basic background information about them. He can see why Auntie Gauri thinks they are suitable. They are all in their 50s and 60s, in good health and seemingly independent. Hajra and Maryam are both widows. Firoza has never been married before, and Zora is a divorcee. Dada Rashid suddenly feels anxious at the thought of meeting another woman for the first time in almost 50 years. He breaks out into a sweat and he can feel his heart palpitating, but he takes a deep breath and calms himself down.
All right then, let's get the show on the road. I think I will start with Hajara, since that was the name of my marhum mother. Gauri, how soon can you arrange for me to see her?
She's from Durban, but she's staying with her daughter here in Southville while her son and his family are away on a cruise. I'll give her a call and see if you can go and visit her by this weekend, inshallah.
It is first break at Rosewood High School, and Zinira is standing on the field all by herself. She's playing on her cell phone, trying to look as if she's deeply absorbed in an online chat, when she is approached by a white girl with long blonde hair and a black girl with cornrows that she recognizes from her class.
Sanira, right?
Yeah, right.
I'm Yolanda, and this is Tumi.
Hi, Zinira. Can you call you by nickname or something? It's such a cool name, but so difficult to pronounce.
Sure. My family calls me Z.
Cool. We'll also call you Z.
So, Z, we heard you come from the Plaas.
I wouldn't exactly call Southville a farm, but I know what you mean. It is like a different world compared to here.
How did you end up here?
My dad got a post here at his architectural firm.
Cool. I saw you hanging around with the grade 10 boys the other day. Do you know them? I want an intro to that guy for art. He's so gorgeous.
I don't really know him.
Don't be mean, Z. All Yolanda wants is an intro.
No, I mean, I really don't know any of those boys. The only reason I was standing there was because I needed to speak to my brother.
Your brother is in grade 10? Maybe he can introduce me to Fa'ad then.
Maybe. Although I think Fuad is a Muslim.
So, what has that got to do with anything? I don't want to marry him, obviously. I'm just planning on dating the guy.
Aren't you a bit young for that?
Young? Girl, in this part of the world, we start dating from primary school.
Oh! So, do you guys just hang out and chill here on the field at break?
Actually, we do something much more fun than just hang out. We make TikTok videos.
Oh, wow. Really? I watch them like all the time, but I've never made one myself. My father would kill me if I did.
So would be mine if he was sober enough to know what I get up to, but he doesn't really care.
So, Z, you willing to give it a try?
But what if my parents find out?
Your parents will never search the name topics that we make the video on. Unless they are into teen entertainment or something.
No, of course not. But,
well, if you're planning to make any friends at all, you'd better get with the program and join us.
Oh, you cool. Just carry on being a loser. Sitting all by yourself during break and acting like you are on social media when all you are doing is holding your phone in your hand to make yourself look busy.
I don't know.
All right. Goodbye then, loser. Come to me. Let's go.
Wait, Alright, I'll give it a go. Let's see what you've got so far.
Zinira is too minded about getting involved in making TikTok videos, as Zaid has warned his children against it. But the thought of having to sit alone at break every day makes her call Tumi and Yolanda back. She has a look at the videos they've posted thus far, and they seem harmless enough. The two girls use the TikTok platform to post quirky little videos on escaping homework, avoiding their parents, and imitating famous people. Zinira hesitantly agrees to come on board with them.
فؤاد شغوف إلى ربه أحب رضاه